Yo, what is up, guys? My name is Miles on Mars, but you can just call me Miles, or Mars, or Mom.
Or Daddy.
And today we're building, uh, and today we're building a basic password generator in Python. And if you don't know what that is, it's a basic password generator in Python. And if you're new to this kind of stuff and you're stuck trying to fathom how we're going to turn a snack boy into a password, then listen closely. Python is a dynamically typed, high-level object-oriented programming language that helps us organize data into information and write code and do cool shit with it, like create video games, make streaming services like the one you're using right now. And apparently, planet-destroying, apocalypse-advocating robots. Let's try not to get any ideas about that last one. We're looking at you, Kyle. You sick And now that we're all up to speed, without further ado, let's get into generating this password generator in Pythagoras theorem. So the first thing we're going to do is open up Visual Studio Code. This is what all the good programmers use, and we're trying to be like those guys. F***ing nerds. Visual Studio Code is an IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment, which is basically just an environment for writing code. It's not the only one, but it's a convenient option if you plan on using multiple different coding languages along your journey, like Java, JavaScript, and C. So you want to randomly generate a password with a select sequence of characters that makes it difficult to guess. I say difficult and not impossible because it's statistically possible for these passwords to be brute forced. And if we wanted that extra level of security, we'd have to include another degree of encryption with a technique called hashing. I'd show you how to do that, but first I got to figure out how to do it myself. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to import random. It's pretty self-explanatory. It lets us do random shit and pull random samples from our variables. After that, we're going to initialize our variables. So these are the things we want to go into our password. So we want things like uppercase letters, say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, U, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, and Z. And you want lowercase letters. To make things quicker, we're going to say uppercase letters, lower. Then we're going to have our numbers. So let's call it digits. Start with 0 for how many you get. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last but not least, we have our symbols. So these are our special characters. Just throw a bunch of random stuff in there. Really anything you want. And I'm just going to leave that there. Looks fine to me. Okay, and after this, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to implement a Boolean operator. This is a data type that only accepts true or false, and we want to apply that to our variables. So we're going to say upper for uppercase letters, lower for lowercase letters. Let's call it digs for digits, and sim for our symbols. We're going to initialize them all as true. And there we have our Boolean operator. We want to create a empty string to append our password to. So we're just going to call it all for all the characters. And then just create an empty string. Okay. So there we have the first part. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create an if statement that references our Boolean operator and connects it to our empty string and our variables and strings it all together. So let's say, for example, if you had some bitches on your dick, the Boolean value for you watching this video would probably be false. So we're going to start with if upper is true, and we want grab our empty string and append its letters to it. I'm just going to do the same for everything else. So let's say if lower all plus equals lowercase letters, if digs all plus equals digits, and for symbols, if symb all plus equals symbols. So what this does is we have an if statement saying if upper, our Boolean value, is true, then we want to grab our empty string and we want to add everything within the uppercase letters variable to that string. Same goes for everything else. So now we're just going to create another variable for the amount of characters we actually want to generate into our password. So we're going to call that password length. We're going to give it 20 characters. And we're going to have another variable for the amount of passwords we actually want to generate. So we're just going to call that amount generated. And let's generate 3 passwords. We're going to finish off with a simple for loop to actually generate the password. So we're going to say for elements in range amount generated, so you want all 3. We're now going to say our password is equal to our empty string join operator random.sample all, and then our password length. And then for the magic touch, we're just going to print password. And that should be everything. So we're just going to save that. And let's go ahead and run it. And we've got all 3 of our passwords right here. So I just want to show you something in our Boolean operator. See how we have all true for these? So if we're going to change one of these to false, let's go with symbols. This should generate a password that has no symbols in it. So we're going to go ahead and run this again. Now we've got 3 passwords with no symbols in them. So that's pretty much everything. And now you have it, a basic password generator in Python.